Hey folks, and welcome back to Glenn and Adrian's Rock Talk. That's Adrian.
And that's Glenn.
And today we're going to take a look at a much requested video, The Warning, What's in My Bag, over at Amoeba, the record store. They do these videos. It's a series, What's in My Bag, with various rock stars that, or otherwise, that pop into the store for their music needs. And apparently The Warning was there at one point. I believe they're based in Hollywood. So anybody in LA for any reason, they can just pop right over and get an album or two or three. So that's what The Warning did. This came out on August 5th, so it's been 2 weeks. I had to find out if there was a way to feature this where it wouldn't get blocked, and I did find a way. So we're going to do that today. Adrian, any thoughts before we dive into this and learn more?
I'm looking forward to seeing what they like to listen to, and it'd be interesting to find out.
Absolutely. I mean, the MTV Push interview that they did a month ago or so did give us some insights into some of the other things they like. And actually, we put up 6 videos, 2 per Warning member. Pow's Choice, Ali's Choice, Daddy's Choice. And those did really well. It was showcasing different songs that they had picked out as songs that were important to them for some reason or another. So check those out if you haven't. But in the meantime, let's just see what else they're into.
Warning. I'm Danny.
I'm Pal.
I'm Ali.
And we're at Amoeba, and this is What's in Our Bag.
Okay, I'll start. Oh
wow.
My God.
I can't believe you found that.
Yeah, I know, right?
That's insane, actually.
We grew up watching this concert all the time in our house. It's iconic, and I feel like Queen is one of the biggest inspirations for what we do.
Remember the outfits? That's
I know.
insane.
I was looking at it and I was like, oh my God.
I remember every single frame on this concert. I can't believe there's actually like a record.
A record.
Like,
yeah, no.
Vinyl.
I feel like a highlight is Somebody to Love. Like when Roger starts singing, I was just like,
that's insane.
Yeah.
Somebody found me, somebody to love. Anybody find me, somebody love.
Adrian, okay, so you are the Queen expert among us. Do you know about this concert?
I did not know about this concert. I mostly listened to their really early stuff, like the first couple albums.
It happened in 1981. However, it didn't come out until 2007. Now, The Warning would have still been very young children at that point, so of course they're going to look at it as, a formative thing. We always like archival releases that came out years later because that means that the original source tape benefits from all of the advances in music production that have happened ever since. And so you get cleaner recordings, that are better for the long run.
Yeah. Well, anyway, I'm impressed with Daddy's Choice here. Queen.
Sounds like they got to actually see the show, and so that's cool. And there may have been the double disc. They may have got to see Live Aid too, because there's a version that's available if you still buy discs instead of actually streaming. There's a second DVD in the DVD set for this, and it's got Live Aid. Very cool. Good to know. All right, let's go ahead and continue here.
Let's see what I have. Here we go. Ooh. Tchaikovsky's The Nutcracker. We grew up with classical music all the time. We started playing the piano before we played anything else. Pas de deux is my favorite song on this. Every time I listen to it, I cry. I can't help but cry. your
Witnesses
witnesses
to
to
that,
that.
yeah.
Yes. Like all the time. And when we're touring, after like week of a show, I can like remove my makeup, take a shower, whatever, and just like settle down while I'm listening to Pas de Deux. For me, this is like a song that just really encompasses like what life feels like. So
Deep.
good
Yes.
find.
Talk about a classic.
Yeah, she mentioned that one too during the MTV Push interview. So this is one that's she's mentioned twice now in recent times.
I think I've got that too on CD, but I noticed it was Michael Tilson Thomas, who's a pretty famous conductor.
Indeed, he is.
Ta-da! The Second Law by Muse. Okay, so this is, I feel like, when we were a tad older. This album was like one of the first albums I actually listened to, like the whole album, and I just love every song. We love Muse. Like, I feel like I can speak for the three of us.
We
They're
saw this
one of,
tour
like-
live.
We did.
Yeah.
We did, 2 times. They're just like such a big inspiration for us. They're a trio, and then we got to tour with them in Mexico. We opened 4 shows for them, and then they invited us to their tour in Europe and in the UK. So it was just so amazing to be able to tour with them, and they've been our inspiration since we were really young, and they're all so nice.
Iconic.
It's so good. It's just
Iconic album in our lives.
So Muse, The Second Law. So, okay, so Ale would have been about, 7 or 8 years old when that came out. So this is like the time when you're starting to realize that there are groups and there are things worthy of your attention. When you're like 7 or 8 years old, it seems to be like, at least that's when it happened to me, basically, somewhere around there.
Yeah, I think when I was 7, I was really wild about the Monkees, and then I heard about Kiss a year or 2 later, and I got totally into them.
So I'm taking a quick look at this album because I know very little about Muse except what I've heard of through this band. And this is their 6th album. Came out in September of 2012. That would make Ale 7 when it came out. So maybe if they bought it around that. So that makes sense. So it's one of those early albums in her memory that kind of sets the tone for her.
I also noticed the tunes that they were playing from that album, it sounded very eclectic. I mean, one sounded like a dance tune or something, and then the next it's like a metal type tune. And so.
Yeah, we'll have to check out some Muse at some point. They've been on our list, and I have to make sure that we can actually do them. There may have been a copyright issue, but I'll double check that. Right. If we were going to do a Muse song, folks, what would you choose?
I'm so excited. Okay, I am going to bring out Elton John's greatest hits.
Hey.
I'm still standing. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I'm still standing. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
It's something that we grew up with as well, and oh my god, I remember.
We had the 60th birthday.
Elton John
like, his
live.
concert.
We saw it all the time. I remember hearing this and immediately going down to like watching it with my dad. So for sure, this is coming home
I'm
with
so
me.
jealous. How
Look
did
at
you
that!
find
Look at that!
Was there
It's
another
like
one?
Loki kind of
I
wanted
can share it.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. You're so kind.
I read it in a magazine. Baby, I'm just
I love a lot of Elton songs, but this one, "Don't Go Breaking My Heart" with Kiki D, I kind of like.
It's like core childhood memory.
Exactly.
Of, like,
I have it like it has
hearing
a
that
very
song.
special place in my heart. But I know all of the songs in this record.
This is
Yeah.
great. I'm so jealous.
I know.
So cool.
when I was down. I was your clown. Ooh, nobody knows it. Nobody knows.
We have to talk about this one, Elton John. It was called One Night Only, Greatest Hits. Yeah, so it's a live show. And as a matter of fact, we saw The Bitch Is Back recently. It was from the same show.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, 2000. So cool. And they mentioned that they always watched his 60th birthday. And I've seen that one, and it's great. I haven't seen much of 2000. That's why we picked The Bitch Is Back, actually. Lots of records, too.
It looks like it was a long gig. It looks like there's a big set on the song list. At least what I thought.
Yeah, oh yeah, his concerts are long. Yeah, so it's great to see them reference Elton John because, of course, when they talk about core childhood memories, I mean, I know for me anyway, His greatest hits album, the very first one, was a core childhood memory for me.
So talking about childhood, feel like this is gonna be weird, but Disney's Lemonade Mouth.
Oh my god.
Okay.
I also grabbed this one. I have it in my bag as
no,
well.
I saw it and I
yeah.
completely lost it. Like it's in vinyl. Who thought of that?
I remember like the
I
dance
know
moves.
every song.
Determinate. This was the first time I saw like younger people and like any type of representation wanna like make a band. I
Like
mean,
a
it's a
rock
movie,
band.
It is a
but
movie.
like there was like a rocker chick. It was just a mix of people who wanted to play music together, and I thought that was the cutest thing.
I love
And
that movie.
The soundtrack, like
Honestly.
the songwriting for the soundtrack is
Honestly, it's so good.
amazing.
That's the first time I've heard of Lemonade Mouth.
Yeah, same here, but I understand why she considers it influential. If it's the first time she actually saw young people working in that type of a situation, that's a big deal.
So we found this. We were so shocked to find that there was a vinyl for The Three Amigos.
The Three Amigos!
Our manager, Rudy, loves this movie and we hadn't watched it before, and now we watch it every time we go on tour. We
Every
watch
time.
this movie
a
all
ritual.
the time.
Blue shadows on the trail.
We need to do that Halloween costume.
We need to dress
Yeah.
up.
We need to
I would
like,
be.
you would be
Yes, I'm
yes.
the shortest.
Oh, that would
short,
work.
yeah.
That would work.
I would be Steve Martin.
Yeah.
Because you're taller.
You're taller.
I am taller.
This is clearly not from like our
No, it's
era.
like it's a movie from like
For
what,
me,
the
like
80s?
it's the 80s,
Yeah.
like it's 86.
My
But
little buttercup.
has the sweetest smile.
Dear little buttercup, won't you stay a while?
Look at this. Look
Wow.
at I watch this movie like
You watch it every
the
year.
music every year, at least one time.
Simply remember my favorite things, and then I don't feel so bad.
Somehow I'm not surprised.
Oh, yeah.
It's a, I mean, again, talk about a classic.
Yeah, it's a classic, and it's also got a really kind of a tragic story behind it, and there's kind of the power of music is a theme. They have to flee the Nazis, I think, something like that. It's a very heavy movie. No, I mean, it ends up being kind of their salvation. It is a classic.
I've never seen the movie myself.
It's worth seeing. If you ever get a chance, go ahead and look at it. For sure, it's classic music. You know, Roger Hammerstein.
Finding the soundtrack is like I can't believe like it was the only one there, and I was just like,
My grandmother's gonna be so happy. Okay, so we
Right?
saw this movie because we
With
would
my
stay at like
grandma.
my grandma's house, and
Yeah.
she would put it on like all the time. You
Yeah.
would go to grandma's house and it would be like, you're gonna watch The Sound of Music.
for sure.
Like that's how we know about this movie.
It's so pretty as well.
It's so cute.
I
It's
love
really
it.
nice. It's really cute. I'm
Julie
happy
Andrews
for you.
I'm very
is
happy for
my queen.
My hills are alive.
I'm gonna step away from soundtracks for a second.
Okay.
Yes.
Ali was talking about that we toured with Muse last year in the summer. And Royal Blood was also a part of that lineup. We also toured with Royal Blood. They're great. I love
so
them.
nice.
Their newest album
It's so good.
is so,
It's so
freaking good.
So it's an English rock band. They have 4 studio albums out. Yeah, I actually don't know much about this band. I thought they were more of a doom metal band, but clearly it's not the same group. But they're talking about the album Back to the Water Below. Recorded at home. Has a pretty high rating on Metacritic of 81 out of 100. That's pretty good. Top drawer tunes throughout, says Mojo. Maybe we'll have to check out Royal Blood at some point.
All right, yeah, it sounds, what I just heard sounded kind of rock and roll, kind of pop dance or something like that.
So when we started writing our new album, Keep Me Fed, this album had just come out and I was listening to it like all the time. So we would hit the studio
very big inspiration.
and after that I would just drive home, not even blinking, just kind of like trying to process everything that went through the day, and this was just on loop all the time. Great album.
Okay, so actually, I don't know this album, but we were at a photo shoot the other day, And I just loved, like, it was so fun taking pictures with this album on the background.
Depeche Mode. So this is an album, this is their 7th album. It came out in 1990. It's called Violator. And this one also, I mean, depending on who you talk to, Robert Christgau, of course, hated it. But other than that, pretty much everybody gave it a 5-star rating. It looks like 4 to 5 stars. From Melody Maker, Paul Lester said it was Depeche Mode's most arresting work to date.
I remember them being big in the late 80s, early 90s.
This is how, like, I love to discover new music. People put on their playlists, and this was on, so I'm very excited to get home and, you know, put on the vinyl.
Listen to it.
Bring Me the Horizon.
Oh my god. Okay, so yes.
I feel like we have a lot of history with Bring Me the Horizon, and it has inspired us a lot. You know, it's when I got like really heavy. Our last record that we did called Error was produced by David Bendeth. This one was also produced by David Bendeth, and
So we would listen to it
a lot.
in the studio
It was
while
a good
writing.
reference.
Yeah, while writing.
Yeah. Yes.
A lot of these albums, like we know the people that work with them, and now we're working with them, and we're touring with them.
That's just so
And they're
nice.
like our colleagues.
That's insane.
That's insane.
I thought it was Bermuda Horizon.
So the band is Bring Me the Horizon. The album is Sempiternal. This one also has pretty high reviews. 81 out of 100 on Metacritic. Yeah, generally pretty good. Yeah,
Sounds good, I think.
it might be worth a look at some point if somebody would like to recommend one of their songs, particularly off this album, since David Bendeth produced this. Well, actually, it says Terry Date on here, so I wonder. I see. Okay, so Dave Bendeth mixed this album. That was his role in this. Interesting. And what do we know about them? They're a rock band from Sheffield. They've been around 20 years. Apparently have had some really good success. They've been nominated for a couple Grammys. And they're generally considered rock and metal, it would appear. So, yeah, might be worth a look.
Sure.
Let's see what Pau has here.
Uncle Jazz, Man I Trust.
You could ever be this good to me, just can't help but wonder.
I feel like people expect us to be listening to rock music all the time because we play rock music. But when you're on tour, what you want to do is just relax because you have very small space, like very little time to relax. And this is an album I put to just like let my mind,
Decompress.
yes, just
Kinda
like breathe for
flow.
a second. And also I washed my dishes to this album. That's great album.
She has the smoothest voice. I
yeah.
love it.
Okay, so the name of the band is Men I Trust, and the name of the album is Uncle Jazz. And apparently it came out about 2019. Does that seem about right? So very interesting. We'll have to look into that one too, I'd say. If anybody can make a recommendation for us, please do so below.
Different, I'm dreaming of is far away, but I'm here.
Oh, we saw them live. We did.
Yeah, we
They
did.
played before us in Pal Norte.
We actually saw
amazing.
So we saw Uncle Jazz.
So this album, ever since I came across it, I've been listening to it like almost every day. This is Takotsubo by L'Imperatrice.
Cannot resist this.
Okay, this one Ale mentioned again on the MTV Push interview. It said she was listening to a lot of this band, kind of more electronic dance pop.
My head was shaking, my hips. Cannot resist this.
I love this band so much. Like, I love every single thing they've put out. It's just like very fun music.
Yes.
Vibey. You
It's
vibe.
vibey, it's funky. I listen to it on the plane, on like
I love
Uber
it.
rides.
Usually when I see you unlock your phone when you have headphones,
It's
that's usually the
usually-
album that is on there.
You're the biggest Legacy supporter.
Yeah,
like,
I
ever.
love them
I
so
know.
much. And we saw them live. We got to see them live. Because we were going to play in like a venue in our hometown in Monterrey. Like we went
Check
to
the
see
venue
this
out.
random band to just like listen, check out the venue.
like, check out the PA,
And
stuff like that.
they were playing. Ever since then,
We've been fans.
we've been fans.
That is a crazy story.
That's a
That's
that's a
insane.
great way to discover a band, actually.
would agree. That is one of the best ways to find a new band, is to find them playing in the club, the local club. Yeah, she has professed her love for this band on many occasions, and that's another one. Folks, if you have a suggestion for us, please leave it below.
Look at this.
Ay, Jesus.
Oh, wow.
Leave the door open. I'ma leave the
Yeah, Danny mentioned this one also during MTV Push.
We saw the first ever live performance of this album. Oh my god, it's completely insane. They took away our phones and they actually sang about it. They were like, they took your phone away. We took your phone away. They were so happy with that.
Yeah.
Like,
It was,
oh
it was
my
such
god.
a fun show.
And this is my driving album. I would be just kind of like,
I also want to say
Vibing
something.
on the
Danny
street.
listens to this album on the plane.
Oh, okay. She's like dancing.
She can't sit still, but you're like on a plane for like 8
can't.
hours,
And she's just
you're
like-
so tired, and Danny's just like
You're just like stuck
on
in
the
it.
seat on the
can't
plane.
sit still listening to this.
So that's
it's
why you
impossible.
shouldn't listen to it on the plane. But it's a good album.
I mean,
I'll give you that.
guilty.
It's a great
guilty.
album.
I love it.
Oh, skate to me, baby. Skate. Slide your way on over. Slide your way on over. Skate to
The Black Keys, Turn Blue. Great album. I listen to this a lot, like when I drive.
Yeah.
It's just
Every
so
time
good.
I like hop in your car,
I
like
force you to listen to it. I was just so happy that I found it right now. I could not believe it. We actually like collect vinyls. I have like
You have a lot.
117. And since we travel a lot, we always try to hit like all the stores that we possibly can. And I've been looking for this for so long and have not
found it.
anywhere in the world. And Amoeba, thank you.
I saw the Black Keys play at Bonnaroo in 2004. So they've been around for a while.
Yeah, I remember hearing about them a while back.
Yeah, it was, they became much more famous after that, as a matter of fact. They weren't all that well known at the time. That album they were just talking about, Turn Blue, came out in 2014. It was a collaboration with Danger Mouse, which they've been doing a lot. Danger Mouse is kind of a famous DJ. Come to think of it, I think he was at the same Bonnaroo show, so he's been around for a while too. David Frick of Rolling Stone said it was the best, most consistently gripping album the Keys have ever made. Okay. Did all right. Debuted at #1 on the Billboard 200. Yeah, they've become a pretty big band.
I guess so.
And I would just want to mention Silk Sonic, too. Of course, that is a Bruno Mars project. And Bruno Mars is kind of known as being kind of a retro artist, somebody who has had a lot of influences from the 70s, including Stevie Wonder and that sort of thing. So he's got kind of a nice funk background, funk pop background, I guess I would say, but smooth, like pretty well done, actually. And really does feel like throwback material.
so this
Iconic.
is such a great soundtrack. It's so good. Every time like I get ready, like I'm like doing my makeup to go out or something.
Makeup with the Kill Bill soundtrack.
Have you ever?
No, I mean, I also
have you
rapped
ever?
it, but I've
It's-
never done my makeup.
It's
to it.
really like I would just put
feel
on the
dramatic.
soundtrack. Yeah, it's so dramatic. You just remember the whole movie. It's a great movie, but the soundtrack is just absolutely amazing. I love it so much. So
Slay.
I must.
Slay.
Thank you so much for coming in today.
No, thank you for having us.
This was genuinely
Clearly excited.
Yeah.
the funnest thing that we've done. So thank you so much for this.
That's the best. I love hearing that.
All right. So what were your general thoughts on that, Adrian?
Kill Bill soundtrack. I remember that movie.
Me too.
I might have seen it once or twice. I don't remember.
I seem to recall it was called out by a lot of critics as being super violent, like more violent than you might have expected. You know?
Yeah, it was pretty violent, I think.
Yeah, I think violent movies were kind of in vogue at the time. There were a lot that kind of pushed the envelope back then. So I've actually never seen the movie, but I have heard a lot of good things about it. So, and I've actually heard more about the soundtrack being good. So, but that's funny. Yeah, putting on your makeup to the Kill Bill soundtrack sounds a little, I don't know, dangerous.
That's dangerous. Yeah, it sounds like you'll mess up somehow.
Yep, I'm out to get the world. Here we go. A lot of very interesting choices there, and I would like to check out some of those artists. So by all means, if you have any familiarity with any of those albums that just popped across your screen, let us know and leave those suggestions below, and we will consider them. Okay? Let us know what your favorites were, too, and if you have any experience with those albums. Just always interesting to hear people's story where it comes to the music. All right. And if you enjoyed this video, please give it a like. And if you enjoyed our presentation, please subscribe. All right. Thanks so much for joining us on this, and we will catch you on the next one. All right. Take care, folks.
See you all later.